comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good afternoon, everyone. Boop, boop. I'll wait a couple seconds for Facebook and everything to catch up here. Hope everybody's having a good... Oh, that's why nobody's been at meetings and nobody's been around. Everybody's out in their costumes doing stuff. Yeah, today's noon meeting, there weren't that many people there. It was actually pretty small. Everybody's out enjoying the weather, man. Last of this weather. Where did I set my car? Oh, here it is. Okay. All right. If you are here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. I would appreciate it. I'm just playing with some stuff here. Okay. It's kind of cool. Should we change my name while we're rounded? Go with rounded? All right. That was probably long enough. Here, you want me to move that for you? My cat's laying under the light because it's nice and warm. Huh. Oh, Ronan the runt. Who hates being loved? Right? All right, let's get started. Oh. So, we were talking about amends in my meeting today that I didn't get to till late. Woke up at 12:19. I went right to the meeting, guys. Why not? I just kept the camera off for a little bit while I woke up, right? But anyway, we were talking about amends. And one of my friends was talking about this situation where he had to make an amends to this person. And what had happened, this person come into a Zoom meeting, made remarks, including some racial remarks. And then the next day they didn't let him in, and they felt like they owed him an amends because of our traditions. Tradition 3, the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking, right? That makes you a member of AA. That doesn't mean you get to hang out in my group. If you're being disrespectful in a group, I hope they kick you out. Don't be disrespectful in a group. Don't be coming in there with your racial bull crap and stuff. We don't need it. We don't want it. We have no opinion on it. Right? Now, just because you say that you're a member of Alcoholics Anonymous doesn't give you the right to disrupt a group. They have every right to kick you out if you're being disruptive. And I find that most time people in AA are going to give you 5-6 chances before they even do that. They're probably even going to sit down and talk to you a little bit, and say, hey, gotta calm down a little bit. But this guy's, I guess he's got 50 years sober and he's just a bully. I would love to meet this person. I will stir his shit up to show that his 50 years ain't nothing if he's going to act like a jerk to people, man. No. Sorry, I don't like bullies. Hi, Gary. Good to see you, man. Yeah, I don't know what the numbers are doing because it said 3 a second ago. Now it says 0. So who knows? Maybe it's Restream. Maybe it's, an ongoing problem that maybe I should just let go. It isn't so much that it bothers me. It's that I like to know. And if there's nobody there, then I'm going to wait a little bit. But if I'm sitting here waiting and there's people actually there, then they're going to feel ignored. See, now it popped back up to 1. So, okay. If anybody understands that a little bit better than me, I would be happy to listen. So, let's get to live and let live, right? How well is it going to go considering the story I just told you? I'm still going to let this guy live his life. He's just going to do it over there. Then go start your own meeting, right? All right. Live and let live. Never since it begun has Alcoholics Anonymous been divided by a major controversial issue, ever. Even during Corona. AA does not. AA members do all the time. Okay? This is where we're going to be talking. We're going to be talking about division and some things, so it might be a little uncomfortable. Okay? But there are people out there. You know, I'm watching one guy right now. I like what he does, but I can tell he hasn't finished the steps. And he's out there on television. I'm blah, 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 and this is what we're doing. I think what they're doing is great. But there's going to come a time in his life when something real is going to happen and he's going to have a reaction and everybody's going to see that. And then that whole plan will fall apart because he wasn't honest with himself. See, it's really easy for me to put on a mask. I've been a manipulator. I was a manipulator for years and years and years. So it's not much of a surprise when we get into the program, we start feeling better, that we think that we have it. Then we decide not to do the rest of the steps. Well, I'm going to go make up a name. Now that's what's going on. Stop making up fucking names for yourselves, would you? And then that goes to our head and then that's what we become. When in reality, we haven't even done our 9th step yet. Right? That means resentments are going to come back because it means we're not doing a 10th step, which means that we are not doing something on a daily basis in order to keep us in line. So, Alcoholics Anonymous has never been divided by a major controversial issue, nor has our fellowship ever publicly taken sides on any questions in an embattled world. Nope. We don't talk about that stuff in the rooms. For good reason, because then we would start to divide. It is principles before personalities. Okay. There are some personalities in AA I don't particularly like. So fucking what? So what? That doesn't mean that I'm going to go, oh, yeah, that person didn't. So? No. Because I'm also able to take a look at that person and find things that I like in them. I do that a lot. If somebody is doing something that is disturbing me, first thing I do is am I doing it? Am I doing it? No? Okay, good. Am I doing it? Yes. We have our answer to the problem, right? No, I am not doing that. Okay, then accept that person for who they are by finding things that you like in them. You will find your resentment fading. Not love, but like. Find what you like in them. I have found that it's harder to like somebody than it is to love. Maybe I give my love away too freely. Nah. I don't think anybody would be like, no, Dion, you just stop loving people. Just, you love too much. I don't think that's possible. This, however, well, maybe it is, but I have balance in my life, if that makes sense. So this, however, has been no earned virtue. It could have almost been said that we were born with it. Okay. This means we didn't have to work for it. It was given to us. It was a gift, plain as day. Here it is. Follow instructions. So long as we don't argue these matters privately, it's a cinch we never shall publicly. Absolutely. In fact, I'll just leave the meeting. But out of the thousands and thousands and thousands of meetings that I've been to, less than 10 I would say it's happened. Those are pretty good frickin' numbers. It doesn't happen very much. Not as much as you would think it would, right? I'm not saying that I haven't seen people get into it in AA. It happens. But I've also seen those same people turn around, make amends, and move forward right in front of everybody. I've seen it happen. Why? Because we are human and sometimes we make mistakes. And if you are working your program and doing it correctly, then you understand that step 10 gives you permission to be human. All right, 12 Steps and Traditions, page 176. That's going to be a tradition for sure. Yeah, tradition 9. Tradition 10. Tradition 10. All right. And tradition 10 is Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues. Hence, the AA name ought never be drawn into public controversy. We are not brought into public controversy because we do not talk about those things. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety, right? Not to sit down and fix the world. Nope. Nope. We can't do that. Why? Because we can only change ourselves, even as a group, right? We can change ourselves. Once we've changed ourselves, we can utilize that example to make changes. But you cannot, for the love of God, transmit something you do not have. Okay? That means you must do the 12 steps or you won't get it. Period. Usually the end is the best part of these. So let's get to that. Let's do like the last paragraph. Let's do the last 2 paragraphs. The Washingtonian Society, a movement among alcoholics which started in Baltimore a century ago, almost discovered the answer to alcoholism. At first, the society was composed entirely of alcoholics trying to help one another. The early members foresaw that they should dedicate themselves to this sole aim. In many respects, the Washingtonians were akin to AA of today. Their membership passed the 100,000 mark. Had they been left to themselves and had they stuck to their one goal, they might have found the rest of the answer. So just think, so just think, we could have been, instead of going to AA, we could have been, yeah, I'm a member of the Washingtonians. It could have been, yeah. Oh, so you mean that Bill W. didn't come up with the concept of alcoholics? No, you guys, he did not. And I'm sure he would tell you that himself. No, the Washingtonians, the Oxford group. This is where we derived a lot of what we do today. It's just that, thank God we had Bill. This is where I'll give Bill credit. He saw some nuances. What he did instead is he got on a motorbike and experienced it himself. That's what made the difference, I think. That's my opinion. But the Washingtonians were doing a great job here. Let's go listen. But they might have found the rest of the answer, but this didn't happen. Instead, the Washingtonians permitted politicians and reformers, both alcoholic and non-alcoholic, to use the society for their own purposes. I get it. We understand that. When I first got sober, I wanted everybody to know, man. I wanted to fucking fix everybody, shout from the rooftops. Unfortunately, when you're shouting from the rooftops, people think you're crazy, right? Abolition of slavery, for example, was a stormy political issue. Soon, just imagine if we would have brought the last presidential debate into, or if we, no, like in the beginning, we talked about the coronavirus a little bit. But we didn't talk about it particularly. What we talked about is the effects that we are feeling from it, like having to stay home and stay sober. That's what we talked about. We didn't talk about coronavirus itself. We talked about how it affected us. Maybe this society could have survived the abolition controversy, but it didn't have a chance from the moment it determined to reform America's drinking habits. Yep. You didn't tell thousands and thousands of people how to drink? Ain't gonna work. There's a lot of people out there that can handle their alcohol. When the Washingtonians became temperance crusaders, within a very few years, they had completely lost their effectiveness in helping alcoholics. Yep, their intentions had changed. They couldn't be trusted because you were hiding something. You wanted something from me. We're going to feel that. I'm going to feel it. The lesson we learned from Washingtonians was not overlooked by Alcoholics Anonymous. As we surveyed the wreck of that movement, early AA members resolved to keep our society out of public controversy. Thus was laid the cornerstone of Tradition 10. Alcoholics Anonymous has no opinion on outside issues, hence the AA name ought never be drawn into public controversy. All right. Let's see what the rest of this has to say. Do I remember that I have the right to my opinion, but that others don't have to share it? Okay. I know that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. That's okay. There's plenty of people like me out there. So go find the person that speaks to you. You know, I'm not big on preachers. I don't like preachers. They make me feel uncomfortable for some reason. But I like Stephen Furtick. He still makes me a little uncomfortable. Okay. But I like how he says it. He's my age. I have a comfort level there. That's the spirit of live and let live. The Serenity Prayer reminds me, with God's help, to accept the things I cannot change. Am I still trying to change others? When it comes to courage to change the things I can, do I remember that my opinions are mine and yours are yours? Yes, you are allowed to have your own opinion. Am I afraid to be me? Here's the thing, you are allowed to have your own opinion, but watch how you share it. Make sure you're utilizing the right arenas. Make sure you're doing it the right way. Because if you're going to share your opinion, you want it to be effective, right? Or are you just sharing it because you're mad? Am I still afraid to be me? Absolutely not. When it comes to the wisdom to know the difference, do I remember that my opinions come from my experience? If I have a know-it-all attitude, aren't I being deliberately controversial? People that are never wrong. That's how you can tell the type of person you're working with. Try and prove them wrong. Try and teach them something. Watch what happens. Something you know that they might be naive about, right? Watch what happens. If you get pushback, then you know, right? So, all right, guys, that's going to be it for daily reflection today. Gary, thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. And, yeah, I'll be here tomorrow morning. I usually go to a 10 a.m. meeting, but I'm going to go to a noon. Our Zoom meeting is having a live meeting. So, all right, guys, I love you. Peace out. And